Welcome to a brand new episode of the TF Motorsports official podcast. I'm Thomas Frasco. As by the looks of it, we're going to have a few more episodes of the podcast for 2024 before we get to our full season of Monster Jam coverage in 2025. Again, it's going to be very exciting. I'm really excited for the whole entire thing. Gonna talk to some of my buddies on here, talk about Monster Jam week in and week out, and that's kind of the beauty with the points being recorded and the live broadcast. Again, seriously one of the best things that they've done for Monster Jam, the live broadcasts, because now it's like Supercross and NASCAR, get to do it week in and week out. So that's kind of why this thing is possible, because now we get the stuff instantaneously. So before we get to any of that, we have a few more episodes to go through. One of them, my good buddy George from Instagram, he's on here, and we're going to be talking about East Rutherford Monster Jam, just kind of reminiscing on one of the most historic Monster Jam locations now that I can call it that, since it's been a little more than 10 years. So George, what should people know about you?
Hey, I'm George Cobb. I come from Virginia Beach, Virginia. I travel up and down the East Coast to see monster truck shows every year with my dad. And I got into monster trucks when I was 2 years old in the year of 2006 and attended my very first show at Monsters on the Beach in 2007 and been rocking it out ever since.
Yeah, awesome. So now obviously you've never been to the izod Center, and this is kind of where we're going to start. I think they went to East Rutherford in the past at, I think, the old Giants Stadium. I think they went to, but they did go to the Meadowlands Arena earlier as well. But then it all kind of kicked off in like the newish era of Monster Jam in 2008 when the izod Center got that sponsorship from izod, and I remember vividly having a memory where you had the two lines of cars. Monster Mutt was there, Gravedigger was there, Thrasher, and I just remember being like in awe. Like, I've never been in a spot like this before. My dad took me there, and it was just incredible. And George, I believe there's videos on YouTube that you can take a look of the event in 2008, which I'm glad I was able to find, because it just feels surreal now looking back at my first event and then looking at what I saw recently this year with 3 shows.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think I've seen that particular event. I know I've seen, I think, 2013 and 14, I think, when Adam was there. In the Legend truck, and just that whole setup's pretty cool. Very similar to Thunder Nationals, with that straight line drag and the crush cars and everything, and
Yep.
concrete floor.
And
But yeah, it looked like a pretty cool show.
yep. And then 2009 was relatively kind of the same, except instead of Gravedigger 12, I believe it might have been, I don't know. I think it might have been either Chad Tingler or Charlie Pocken. I'm not sure who drove Gravedigger, but I did get to see Medusa, El Toro Loco that year. But 2010, do you remember Freestyle Mania?
I do remember that tour. Yeah, I remember hearing about those days. I think it might have came to Hampton once or twice.
Yeah, Freestyle Mania. They went to izod for both 2010 and 2011, and that, I think it's my favorite crush car arena track. I'm gonna like separate. So like my favorite arena track of all time, again, I'm still kind of figuring that out. But my favorite crush car arena track has got to be Freestyle Mania at izod, either 2010 or 2011. I'm kind of debating on it. But it had like the one year it had 3 van stacks and a whole line of cars, and then the other one was a double van stack and like this car stack thing where you had 3 cars in the bottom and then you had 1 car stacked on top in the middle, so it was pretty much like a mini pyramid. And it wasn't just the action that was pretty interesting to see and very fun, but the intermission shows. They had the dancing car. I don't know how it is. It's like you probably like have like a remote or something, or press something and then like the suspension goes, I think. And the biggest part though was freestyle motocross, quads, BMX bikes. They first do like their own separate thing where you got the freestyle motocross and the quads and the BMX goes. And the best part is, George, at the end, they combine them all together for the last part of the intermission show, and they just go balls to the wall insanity. It is the coolest thing I've ever seen live. Just
That's got to be sick to see,
oh,
man. Just all intermission acts at once, in a
oh,
big one show.
like that. The dimmed lights, "Kickstart My Heart" is playing in the speaker. It was just so cool. Like I want to get those years back. That was great.
Absolutely. I love it. Like I think like nowadays it's cool with the FMX and stuff, but I felt there was a little bit more diversity back then between Quad Wars and Cannon Lady and all this stuff. But I mean it's all pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, I think like after their point series, maybe give Monster Jam an idea. They should bring back Freestyle Mania. I think that'd be really, really cool. And especially with the dirt tracks they do now. Could you imagine if they did like a crazy new freestyle track in arenas and then have that crazy intermission show? I think that would be insane for modern audiences as well. Like that'd be camera worthy.
I think so. With all the new, like, just everybody that's getting involved in Monster Jam, I think it'd be cool to kind of give them a throwback taste of what was very popular in the 2000s. And overall, bringing back those side attractions as well would be very cool. And I could see a couple people, like, I can already picture someone like maybe Zimmer Jr. being on that tour of Freestyle Mania and definitely
Oh
being the guy
yeah.
to beat.
Oh, hit him and Zach Garner. Oh, those guys would throw down. And then for as like a Gravedigger driver, it could be either like any of them. They can throw it down no matter what. It would be a tough decision if I was in the shoes of like a Feld employee, being like, all right, which Gravedigger driver do I have to choose? Crap.
Absolutely, between the arena drivers, man, because they all do a real cool job. I
Yeah.
definitely think, in my opinion, I think one of the most got to be the most creative. Definitely Weston with the stuff he does and comes up with. It's just that kid. The arenas are just. It's almost like a playground to him nowadays. Not saying or knocking anybody, but just he's gonna run out of room, man.
Yeah. He's got 3 championships under his belt, and he's competed in 3 seasons. So if he does it again this season, I'm sure that he'll be put into stadiums either with another Grader driver and gonna drive either the Legend or hopefully they can bring back Bog Hog, or have him as a sole Gravedigger driver again. I hope he gets put into stadiums next year because he definitely deserves it without a doubt.
Oh, absolutely, man. The one thing I've been wanting ever since I think was it after World Finals ended last year. I was hoping that New Orleans show. I was hoping so bad he'd drive that orange Gravedigger, but unfortunately, they switched back to the normal skins, and I get it because they want to present the traditional Gravedigger. But it was so cool that he had that orange scheme. That's got to be my favorite out of the Nashville paint schemes.
Also, going back to Gravedigger paint schemes, I think, like, obviously you see Spin Master, they got like all the different Gravediggers now on the shelf. You got the Grandma, you got the Ghost Gravedigger, the Green Ghost.
Oh yeah, my favorite.
I think they should kind of do another Spin Master thing, but with the Gravedigger team. Like, obviously they have like Sparkle Smash, and they have like all these other trucks from Spin Master, and the Superstar Challenge concept is also like a Spin Master concept. They should do a Spin Master concept, but with the Team Gravedigger, like bring back Green Ghost or something like that. I think that would be good, or maybe like Spin Master Originals, like the Overcast Gravedigger, as maybe have Tyler drive that because I think Tyler said that he really liked that.
Absolutely. I think that Overcast Gravedigger was a super cool one. The Green Ghost is my favorite. So, I mean, I think if you throw like my favorite driver, throw Adam in that, man, I would be so stoked to see it.
Oh,
I would
Adam in the Green Ghost.
just
That
just like his father, it'd be perfect.
that would be sick. And then have like the black bead locks. Man,
Ooh, yeah.
that would be sick.
Good old throwback to Gravediggers. What was it?
T-
20 and then
Uh,
14 because I think Chad Tingler ran the scheme in 2007.
yep. I believe that was him. Yeah. Um, and then we go to 2012. Izod's back to like the regular shows, but I remember sitting at the dinner table one night I'm on my mom's old computer, and I see this advertisement for something called Path of Destruction, and it looks like a cool event. Tom Menz is doing a double backflip. Dennis Anderson's there, and it's like during the summer. I'm like, oh, mom, like take a look at this. This thing looks cool. I wonder where this is. And mom's like, MetLife. Oh, that's right by the izod Center. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And yeah, we bought the tickets in a heartbeat once I heard that.
I mean, seriously, you can't get much better than that. I mean, Path of Destruction was already a term used for the successful video game that everybody still talks about to this day. And then, of course, you had the old games. But then when they make it a summer stadium series of events, people just come out and enjoy Monster Jam to its fullest capacity with the best of the best after the World Finals is over. I mean, you can't get much better than that.
Yeah, I remember going there and just being in awe. Like, it kind of like rekindled like 2008 izod because it was something I never thought I experienced. Like, obviously with Monster Jam Live, my first event, like I didn't really know too much about it. Like, I watched it on TV since like 2005, and I enjoyed it when I was like 2 years old. But like obviously my brain was still developing. I didn't really know much really about Monster Jam other than I love Gravedigger and El Toro Loco. But then once I went to the event, then I started to kind of get hooked, and then yeah, 2012, I was already a pretty big fan, and now seeing Dennis in the flesh, Tom doing a double backflip as well as driving the I forgot what name of the truck was, but I know it was for the New York City Fire Department.
Oh, FDNY?
Yep, FDNY. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That truck was sweet. I loved
Yeah,
that one.
yeah, and it's crazy. I think he gave away two helmets that night. Cause yeah,
Typical Tom
yeah,
then.
yeah. Cause Tom Menz is like, I got two things left. First thing is to give away a helmet, and two, do the double backflip. And then I'm like, wait a minute, he's got two helmets in the back. Okay. So yeah, he managed to give away two helmets. Also, man, I don't know why they had him stop giving away helmets. Like that was kind of his like shtick, I think.
I know. I loved when he gave away the helmets, and then he used to spike the helmets too in the
Yeah,
ground or against his truck. That was sick.
yeah. He found like a kid with like a sign or something.
Yeah.
Like he's like, yeah, take a look at that, and then he grabs the helmet, bam, right in
And he
the head.
smacks it right on the kid's head, and the kid's like, "Oh, I'm never washing this helmet again."
I think one of my friends on here. I think he's got Tom Men's helmet.
Oh, that's sick.
I forgot who, but yeah, that's crazy. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, the event itself though was so memorable. Adam Anderson getting the win in the Legend again. My favorite retired truck. I really want that truck back. It just looked so nice, like just the color palette, and again, just being from Gravedigger Legacy. Again, I'm a big Gravedigger fan. I have a freaking Cruise shirt that I bought from the Superstore recently. Um, but yeah, the Legend truck though was just a beautiful piece, and I'm glad I was able to see it for quite a few years.
Oh, absolutely. I think with the Legend, man, I think I only ever saw that truck maybe once. It was like Hampton 2011, which was before this year. It was the last time Adam had came to Hampton. I told him, and he was like, "Was it really?" And he was like, "Cause I forgot, man. It's been so long." He's like, "Do your research for me." I was like, "I got you."
Yeah, and then freestyle was Neil Elliott, and then Tom Menz tried to
Oh,
do the double backflip, and the truck that like the noise the truck made, I didn't think it would be able to go that high, but if you could play it back on like a Monster Jam video of Tom Menz doing his first double backflip attempt, it like screeched like the RPMs were going so high, like it was crazy.
I know. I remember watching. I hear it in my head right now as you bring it up. I remember. I think even Scott Douglas said, a 540 cubic inch motor making that sound just doesn't happen.
Yeah, I think I remember it kind of echoing a little bit while I was glimpsing it before I left.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Oh
it just that whole history, the whole double backflip thing is insane. It's kind
yeah.
of cool, and I hope they bring it back sometime.
Oh, that would be sick. Now this kind of ties into a question. Now that you got me thinking about it, who do you think would be crazy enough to nail the double backflip?
Jeez. Uh,
Now that Tom's gone, who do you think would do it? Could it be maybe Ryan or Adam or? Maybe
I want to say one
Todd.
of the Andersons, and I think Todd is a good example because he attempted it at Nashville, but he got that super high, just singular flip instead. But gee, I don't know. That's a tough one. I almost want to say Weston because it's just the stuff he's been doing.
Yeah. I think personally, I think Todd LeDuc would be the one to go for the double backflip because he also tried that for momentum double backflip.
Oh
But
yes.
yeah, but I think a standard double backflip. I think Todd would be the one to do it, either in like a Spin Master truck or if or maybe for like Megalodon or something. I don't know, but I think he'd be the one to try to nail a double backflip next.
I think so too. Todd LeDuc, I said this to my dad countless times because we're both big fans of him. Todd LeDuc was always the extreme sports guy. I mean, when he came in, this is a guy who came from mountain biking and off road racing. So, him being in trucks like Metal Militia and Monster Energy fit like a glove. But it's interesting now seeing him in Megalodon and making the most of it, for sure. And just to see him push that edge a little further and try the double backflip stunt would be killer.
Heck yeah! And then 2013, kind of the same shtick. And then 2014, as big as it gets, happens.
Oh,
And
yeah.
yeah, and then MetLife was a little bit different. Tom Meents finally got to compete this time, and he did well. Ryan Anderson burned it down in freestyle. I think who won racing? Was that Damon? Was that
I
Damon
think it was
Bradshaw?
Mark McDonald.
Mark McDonald? Um,
I think so.
yeah, I'm trying to remember, but like, yeah, shoot. I'll have to look it up, but yeah, the dirt for that night though, I remember looked really really good on the track. It just had that color. Um, yeah, they were slinging it like it was some really good racing, and then freestyle went well, and then the Dragon debut. Now, unfortunately, the event did not air, but I thought I was gonna be on TV, cause I was about to. Dad was about to take a picture of me and my sister with the new Dragon truck at the pit party. A Fox Sports One camera guy comes over. It's like, hey, we want to record your phone and look at the kids. So he does that, and they're like, oh, thank you, whatever. And then like I'm just freaking out, like, am I gonna be on TV? But unfortunately, that did not happen. But God for man, if I can make it to Monster Jam TV, then I think that'd be the holy grail of my life.
Oh,
That
absolutely,
would be
dude.
sick. I thought I had it though.
Yeah, I don't know why that it was 2013 and 14 did not get televised. I know 2013 didn't because they were switching to
Fox Sports
Fox
One,
Sport.
yeah,
They were from Speed, so they're switching. That's why those episodes did not get aired. The 2014 they're already with Fox, so I didn't know why they didn't do it.
yeah. And then we go to yeah, the Dragon Encore, and it's like, all right, this brand new monster truck concept. Because again, Dragon before, um, it. I'm guessing it was like an actual like car body, but like modified to look like a dragon, from what I remember. Because again, it's been a while since they used that body.
Yeah, I believe it was from the old. So I think honestly that body style goes back all the way to the Sting days, back when they did the WCW truck,
Oh yeah,
and then it
yeah,
became yeah, it became Dragon's Breath.
yeah. So so I hear this big I don't know if I heard a boom or was that just Doomsday, but yeah, Dragon comes out, makes a turn, hits the jump, and immediately flips over.
Oh yeah, I think I remember.
Yeah.
I think it was Charlie Pauken who drove Dragon at that. I think because I talked to Chucky at the East Rutherford pit party 2 years ago, and he said he'd been there once before to see his dad drive Dragon. So I thought that was pretty cool.
But yeah, I think he went to Foxborough and drove Dragon there as well, and he did better there. But then Doomsday came out. We had the Doomsday Encore because it was 2014, and I heard the like the boom of like the massive like bomb firework from Doomsday. It like shook me. It was like wow, like the fireworks that they used like years ago. Like it was like crazy shit. you
I
know?
remember, I think at my first East Rutherford show in 2017, after Ryan's freestyle was over, it scared the life out of me when those fireworks shot
Yeah.
up.
Honestly, I'm kind of glad they don't do that anymore, but it was still an experience, I'll say that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And then we go to 2015. I go to Nassau Coliseum that year. Me and my dad want to try something different, but after we go to the show, we realized that izod's literally closing in a few months, so we missed out on the last izod show. But from what I saw, they like loaded it that year. They had like a car or like pod or something. It was like so many cars in that one arena floor. Like they like I don't know if it's like overkill, but like it was a lot of cars.
Well, I remember seeing it, I think on Mark Galloway's channel, and it was nuts. It was like you said, the car after car, just like one big pillow cushion of just cars in the middle of the Izod Center. And
They had the racing lane cars, and then they had like a triple stack car, and then they had this like weird like step up looking thing. It was like crazy looking in the videos that I've seen. Um, but yeah, we go to MetLife, and this is the last time that Path of Destruction happens. But this year is different. There's actually some indie drivers, and it seems to be a bigger field. Um, Tom Mentz does the front flip, and yeah, racing, donuts, freestyle, all entertaining as usual.
absolutely, I've seen the videos before, and I always thought that event was just really cool. Just the 20 truck lineup and everything. Independence getting to represent. I mean, my hometown trucks. Steve Sims with the Stone Crusher, Steven Sims Jr. and Doomsday of all things. I mean, that was pretty cool to see them being involved in the tour, and overall, just champion after champion was there, and freestyle just seemed like it could go on forever that night.
Oh yeah, and then we go to 2016, and with that one, we see Ryan Anderson. I believe he won racing. Tom Mentz does I think a six truck jump that night. Um, right?
Oh yeah,
Because he was gonna
at
do
Santa
it at
Clara.
yeah, and then it got delayed. So he's like, you know what? Go to MetLife and do it. And I'm just thinking, oh, nice, we get an encore again, and that's the last time we had an encore.
Yeah, I missed those days with the encores and everything. And I was expecting in 2017. I thought when we were going, I thought there's gonna be some kind of encore and everything. And because I remember it, I think I was thinking, I was like, I wonder if it's gonna be pod style, and it never ended up being. It was Chicago, but that was still pretty cool.
Yeah, so with 2016, and then I saw Dennis one more time live and got to see the glorious Chrome Gravedigger,
Oh
one of my
yes,
favorites. He did a great run. Ryan threw it down. Scott Buteau won with a great backflip. But yeah, 2017, Monster Jam starts to go for their more modern look a little bit more. After 2016 was kind of like a changing point. It's like their modern shtick, their changing zone was like 2 years. Like 2015, they started with the tracks. 2016, the branding, and then 2017, pretty much everything else. And now it's pretty much the Monster Jam that we know today. 27,
yeah.
but 2017 though, 2017 was a good show. And I think that might have been your first at MetLife.
Yep, that was my first one. Yeah, I love that show. I look back at it fondly and just remember all the great runs there was. Even my band, Monarch, I was at their house for band practice, and I stayed till like maybe midnight or something. We watched that event, and it was pretty cool sharing it with them.
Um, um, and obviously it was the second ever skills competition. They did well. Uh, Racing, obviously Tom got redemption after coming back at Foxborough the previous week, and then freestyle obviously really made up for it. Adam did a great run. Ryan did a great run. Todd LeDuc did a great run with a save. And then Tom Mentz goes vintage and just does the sidewall save off the backflip. And I remember yelling my brains out because I just saw the GOAT do that crazy save as he's always done.
Yeah, I remember the same thing. I had the same reaction as well, just losing my brains and just screaming at the top of my
Yeah.
lungs, and that's the moment that really like made me respect Tom Meents because I was like a diehard Gravedigger fan. I was like, well, I can't be a Max D fan then because because the whole rivalry I took it really seriously. But that show made me realize I could be a fan of both.
Yeah, and I also, of course, made a lot of noise for Tyler Duke when he did that save off the racing lane after like getting some pretty sick air off it too. Like they steepened the hell out of that, and it really, really elevated. And it was a
Oh,
little,
for sure.
yeah, and it was a little bit muddy that night. But we go to 1 year later, and this is our first technical mud show. Like it's just pure mud, and it's like a very slower version than Mega Trucks. It's like even though that people say that it's the worst MetLife event, like I get it. There was some controversial REI calls and no backflip, but just think about this. We managed to see at least a full mud event, and not too many people really get to see that unless if you're in Anaheim or San Diego. But for here in New Jersey, usually when Monster Jam comes to town, usually it doesn't rain like at the show. So
Yeah, because like I mean, like you said, the year before in 2017, there was a little rain, but the track dried up real fast, and the crew had more time to work on it. With this event, most of the day was just chilly weather, jacket weather, and then come time for intros, it just the heavens open up, and the rest of the show all night just rained and rained, and that track was like you said, like a mega truck course, but just way slower.
yeah, so honestly, I still had a fun time there, just experiencing a mud show for the first time, and
Oh, me
then
too. I
yeah,
thought it was definitely a memorable experience.
yeah, and then 2019, we start seeing Monster Jam get more modern, with Spin Master and all of them, and we actually have a dry event. So with that one, I think Tyler Menega made his first stadium appearance. The pretty much now the modern, one of the modern. I don't know. I'm trying to say goat, but again, it's like there's so many great drivers out there. It's hard to really pick the goat now for like the modern Monster Jam drivers because there's a lot of them that are very talented. So that's why I had to stop myself. It's just like hard to choose.
Oh, I don't blame you. Even multiple of them were in that lineup. I mean, Ryan Anderson was there, Camden Murphy was there, Cynthia was there, Matt Cody, I believe, was there. Shoot, I mean, just so many good trucks and drivers. I mean, that was a fun show of mine. I really enjoyed that. I brought my mom out to that one actually, and she really enjoyed herself too. And yeah, it was cool. I think it was like five of us, my family. We all stayed in a hotel, and
Nice.
my cousin was spazzing out, being crazy, and he ended up bringing all this food, and he dumped it in the bathtub and claimed he wanted to sleep in there. And then after that, my dad had seen where it was. He's like, "I gotta hide the rations from your dad." So he stuffed it in the microwave, and I guarantee, when that day we checked out of the hotel, the box of Cheez-Its was still in the microwave.
Oh my god. Did anybody accidentally turn on the microwave?
I don't think so. I don't think we ever used it once. So thank God, because that would have been fire hazard, right? It was all in the bags
Oh
too.
yeah, yeah, that would have been bad. Oh god.
So I think hopefully room
Uh,
service did some double checking.
um, and then let's see. At the event again, we were fortunate to see Scott Hartsock compete there. Yeah.
God bless him, man. I love
Mm-hmm.
him so much as a driver and just as a person. He's just such a cool dude, and I've been able to witness him many times at Hampton Coliseum and Monsters on the Beach, and then to witness him at the I believe my third stadium show, which was his final. Uh, I don't know about final stadium show. I think he did a few more after that, but it was
Yeah,
one of his last.
yeah. I think I don't know if he competed in 2020 or was 2020
No,
just. Yeah, I think it might have just been arenas or selected ones. Yeah, and then 2020 canceled, and then we go to 2021, and like first we're ready to go. It's already muddy, and then we get the warning to go to the, as they say, um or like leave the outdoor seating bowl area, as they said in the thing. Like I know the terms because they played the same thing every like five
Oh
seconds
my
for
god,
1 goddamn hour. I was
I
like,
remember
shut
it,
up. Like I
dude.
remember some of my buddies on like a texting chat on Instagram. We were just like, oh, will this thing shut up already?
I know that event, man. That's one of my more memorable ones as well. Even though that show got canceled that night. Oh my gosh, man! Just dealing with that, the weather alert over and over, it wouldn't shut up, man. Talk about a broken record. I mean,
Oh,
seriously.
it was pretty much a broken record. And then they say we're postponing it to tomorrow. Sorry for the inconvenience. Mom says we're good to go, so me and Dad were ready to go for the next day. Before I talk about that, so we're going down the escalator, and I hear people cheering, and I'm like, what the hell is that? So, maybe like one of the trucks might have driven out or something, or one of the drivers are waving. Well, no, apparently, I go to Instagram the next day, and apparently somebody got out of their seat, got onto the track, and started, like, running on it.
I remember, dude. As soon as you started bringing that up, I knew where you were going with it. I remember the kid; he had white shoes on. I was like, "How do you do white shoes on a mud track, dude? Come on."
What? Oh my god. Yeah, that's just a killer for shoes.
I know, and I think the people claimed he got arrested. I think the police just escorted him out because he looked to be 15.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
I don't think he's going to jail for
Yeah,
that.
no. But either way, I don't recommend doing that.
No,
Yeah.
you get in a lot of trouble.
The only way you're able to walk on a Monster Jam track is if you go in an arena and do the pit party that way. Um,
Yeah, or if you do like Arlington or Detroit.
or that. I forgot some stadiums actually do that. Um, so then the following day happens, and yeah, it was a surreal feeling because obviously we were just getting out of the COVID-19 pandemic, and just seeing a full crowd again and like cheering and whatnot, it just was a great experience. And honestly, I think after the COVID-19 pandemic, Monster Jam was stronger because 2019 and 2020, their attendance was struggling bad. Like we saw a lot of like bad attendances, but now with these recent years, they've been like getting better and better, and I think um them coming back like that, I think it helped.
I think so too. I think just that East Rutherford being the first 100% capacity event in 2021 was definitely a big I don't know how to put it, but like almost eye opener, I guess I'd say. Just things started to feel it was refreshing. Fans were coming back in the mass. Fans were coming back in the masses, and and just seeing that stadium, pretty full, and just the energy and everything, and the fact it was a day show. It was pretty cool. I mean, I know it may not have been one of the crazier events, but still, I remember just the Tom Mintz trashing Max D number 8, and they had to retire the truck. And just the things like that. It was crazy.
Yeah, and then after that, we go to 2022, and this is so far as of right now my favorite MetLife event that has ever happened. Like
Oh, dude, me
it
too.
was
That's so
top
far
to
the ones I
bottom.
had been to.
Like
Oh, sorry, did I?
yeah, I got okay. So like from racing being entertaining with that different track layout, skills having some good moments, and Ryan Anderson. So like I remember at the pit party, I chat with Ryan for the second time. I met him in 2019 at MetLife. So for 2022, I asked him like about his St. Louis thing because like he did that sidewall into a wheelie, and yeah, he's just like, I don't know, it's just like it just happened. I just was like, all right, let's do it, and then it just happened. Um, but yeah, I don't know if he got an idea from that or he just wanted to do his usual thing, but he went on for I forgot how long it was, but the
I think
sidewall
like
thing
12 seconds.
might have been, but it was so insane when that actually happened. I still have the clip on the channel, but
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, I was like screaming when that happened. And I went with my best buddy. That was the first time I went to MetLife driving to MetLife. Um, and I took my best friend there. And yeah, we were in shock when that happened.
That's sick, man. I mean, just that moment in general, still, I mean, it's still so talked about, even at the 2024 event, this year. People, myself included, brought it up to Ryan. He even brought it up during pre-show interviews. I mean, that's got to be one of the most sickest moments to go down at East Rutherford. I mean, with all the stunts and everything. And this was the two-wheel skill competition, and Ryan Anderson just said, "Hey, man, we're gonna let it all out. And I'm gonna drive this son of a digger truck in the ground," and then he comes out for freestyle and decides to cook Thanksgiving dinner with his motor.
Yeah. I think that might have had something to deal with that sidewall. That thing just like went up in flames.
I even mentioned to him, I saw him in Landover that year, maybe about a month or two after that event took place. And he said he got out of the truck to look at the track, and all he sees is trails of pieces of his motor following behind his truck.
Yeah. And then freestyle was entertaining too. Tyler did a great run. I loved the big cross thread where you got like a big sky wheelie off that side of one of the ramps. Charlie Pocken flipping the truck by like hitting one of the berms and like, oh, if he, you know what, if they continue to have this type of track, one driver should just hit the ramp, nosedive the truck, and like instead of doing what Charlie Pocken did, where it was like, oh, like this was an accident, do it intentionally and gas on it and do a backflip off that. And
That would be insane, just
that
from a huge air.
like that honestly, I think it's possible now that we've seen a lot from Monster Jam.
I think so, just with the elevation and the sport and just the new tricks and drivers just, rewatching themselves and learning from past mistakes. There's a lot of opportunity for some stuff we never seen before. Going into this 2025 season, I believe it's going to get real crazy.
Yeah, and then Camden Murphy won freestyle that night in a really great run. And 2023, I didn't go that year for two things. One, I was kind of about Monster Jam around the time, but also my racing thing was really kicking off that year. I only raced for about a year, and right now, Orange County, from what I hear at that track in Middletown, New York, their future's a little bit up in the air. With
Oh,
like this year, they only had like three events, and now they're gonna have Eastern States in October, which I will cover. But yeah, combined it with a lot of other tracks not really running, it only lasted a year, but managed to go from like 20 something to 11th that night, so that was worth it. But um, but still at the event, did you go to that one 2023?
no, I didn't go to that one. We had some something going on in the family at home that we had to take care of because we had tickets, but then something came up last minute we had to take care of.
Ah, okay. From what I saw, Adam did a good cross thread. Tom Menz, being Tom Menz, did the maximum nose wheelie thing. But I'm not sure if I see anything on that event. I think that might have been just a meh event. I think.
I think it looked pretty good. It definitely, I don't think beat out that 2022 show, but I thought those airs were pretty cool by Camden Murphy and Bryce Kinney. I thought those were cool, and the moonwalk and everything, and um, and then definitely Adam getting that cross thread in. And then another thing was Colvin R didn't even get to compete. And it's kind of a shame because East Rutherford, it seemed like hadn't treated him so well because when he was there in 2018, I think he got shut off immediately during his freestyle. So
Mm,
hopefully he can come redeem himself next time he comes because he's one of my favorites. I love that Black Pearl truck.
definitely. But 2024, I do come back. Um, it's me, my dad, and his friend, and we're going out. And yeah, right from the get go, now that I'm 21, he actually tries to offer me a little sip of a drink, and it's like, it tasted like watered down crap. Like there wasn't really much of a kick.
Right.
I forgot what it was. Some sort of alcohol thing. I forgot what it was, but yeah. And then we see the event. I take photos and take videos. That's the event that we got to see quite a few trucks, and of course you got Sparkle Smash making the debut. Finally got to see JCP Digatron. Um, Again, it was overall a good event, but I think the pit party was more memorable.
Yeah, that
And
event was it was pretty interesting from what I remember. Like just like definitely that pit party was great. But the show itself it had a couple wow moments. But I wish there was more saves. I
Yeah,
love the saves.
yeah. The reason why the pit party was more memorable for me, so first of all, I get there and we're like on a good time. We wait a little bit, and I don't usually do this, but like I'm right there, right when it opens. And then like I hear the gates open, and then I get my tickets, and I go to the pit party. First thing I do, I go right to Adam's line, and like I'm committed. I want to meet a Gravedigger driver. Because yeah, up to that point, except for Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger, I haven't met anybody driving Gravedigger. So um, and I see one of my buddies from Instagram. He had a Cody Saucier fan page. Um, and what's happening is like around that time, New Jersey was having this like big heat wave, and I'm just getting dehydrated, and like it's more like I'm starting to feel like dizzy, like I know something's gonna happen. So like I'm like, you guys got water, and he managed to actually hand me a water. And while I'm drinking water, I see Casey and Kay Young, and I'm like, oh, I really want to meet Monster Jam commentators for the first time. So I managed to meet them. They were very very nice, and like I'm recovering, and I think I was on that line for like 40 minutes or so. Like it was a
Oh
long
wow.
wait. Again, the fans for Gravedigger are very loyal, and yeah, I was having the Monster Gym souvenir yearbook over my head, just trying to get some of the heat off me if my hat wasn't working, because I was also wearing a JCB hat along with my Digger's Dungeon shirt. And yeah, finally got to meet Adam, and he was like seriously one of the nicest people I've ever met, along with Ryan. Just a very nice guy, and it was worth it.
Oh, absolutely. I remember I went for Adam's line too first. I always love getting the Gravediggers out of the way first because of how big the line is. But just when you meet them too, just taking the time to go up to them, talk to like Adam and Ryan, just any digger driver, man. They're all super cool and
Of
really
course.
nice. And I always like just meeting Adam for the first time at the 2017 show. I think then he just became my favorite driver just because how cool he was with me. And I've always just appreciated how he runs the truck and everything. Just what a technical driver he is, and he knows how to get crazy. That's for sure.
Heck yeah, and he's in the last few years he's been rocking the stash, and I want him to keep going on that.
Yeah, that stash is pretty cool. It's kind of like Navy SEAL stash. I think it's awesome.
Yeah. And then I got to meet Tristan England right after, and for a brief moment I got to meet Chris Kohler while he was packing up. Again, very nice of him to take the extra time to meet me and Mark. Uh, and then afterwards, um, I got to go to the stadium, and yeah, I was actually walking alone because Dad and his friend had to take my phone, and I had to grab Dad's because this new policy, if you want to leave, you gotta have the person's phone to to re-get in. So, but
Uh,
thankfully I was able to like get all the photos from Dad's phone onto mine, and yeah.
yeah, usually with my dad, it was my dad and I this year. We went right back to our hotel because he usually likes to go wind down at the hotel for a little while, and then we'll go back. Gather. Put back what we need to. I usually drop my yearbook off back at the hotel, and we'll head back to the stadium, sit down, do a little, watch pre-show interviews, and yeah, gear up for the event.
Now, do you like how far is the hotel? Do you like just drive back and forth?
So what my dad and I do, we try to avoid parking at the stadium. We've avoided it every year. So usually with the hotel, they have a shuttle service, and we just take that every time we can. I believe Nashville last year, we boondocked in a parking lot across from Nissan Stadium.
Hmm.
Um, and it was in walking distance. It really was not that bad. So we walked every time we went to Nissan for World Finals last year. But I think it was too dangerous in East Rutherford because we were debating on walking, but it was just too much traffic.
Yeah, East Rutherford is pretty much on the border of New Jersey and New York City, so yeah, it's something that you kind of have to park. But Because like usually there's traffic, a lot of crossing guards, and could get a little sketchy at points. So yeah, usually I just park there usually.
Yeah, and I can understand that too. Um, but yeah, usually we'll do like we'll take the shuttle or usually Ubers too. Sometimes we'll do that as well because they have the Uber lot.
Yeah. So obviously the event, I enjoyed the event. Again, it was a classic Monster Jam event. Um, and yeah, 2025 they're gonna have Stadium East again since the World Finals is in July and Monster Jam and MetLife. I think it's is it May?
Yeah, I think May 3rd.
Yeah, I think that might have been it. I have it right here. Yeah, May 3rd. Yeah, you got it right on the dot. So the lineup that we got this year coming up is Tyler Menega, Gravedigger. We get the man himself. We got Cynthia Gautier in Lucas Stabilizer. Amano Castro's back in El Toro Loco. Barmy Sauer in Zombie. Colt Stevens, Thunder Roars. He finally gets to go to MetLife. Kanda Murphy in a to be announced truck. Again, that's still a big talking point almost a month after they revealed the lineups. Kevin Crocker, Megalodon, Jim Kohler, Avenger, Chris Kohler, Monster Mutt, Joe Foley, Axe, Mike Christensen, Vendetta, and we get to see Jurassic Attack for the second time, but this time with Dalton Weidner. What's your thoughts going into the event this year? Meanwhile, we don't know what track they're gonna run, and we haven't seen any events yet.
I think it's looking pretty cool. I really do like this lineup a lot. A little similar to the 2022 one with Team Scream and Team Throttle being the independent trucks featured,
Yeah.
and Tyler Meninga being back along with Camden. So that's pretty cool. And just some new faces, kind of like Colt Stevens being there is gonna be definitely a treat. And then I think Bari being back along with Cynthia, it's gonna be a good show. As far as track, I really don't know what they're gonna do. I feel like hopefully next year they'll do something more new. I thought the track used in Orlando this year was pretty cool, so maybe something like that would be neat.
And if you were to go back to the pit party, who would be the driver you would have the golden meeting?
Oh, the old meeting. I have not met Kevin Crocker yet, so it'd be definitely cool to meet him. I think everybody else I've met before, but yeah, it'd be cool to chat with him. And I always like seeing Tyler. Um, And just Jim in general. Jim is just super cool. I
Yeah,
got to talk to him last month, or no, it was this month, earlier this month at Dennis Anderson's place when they were doing North versus South. I was talking with Jim for quite a while. He's a super nice guy.
yeah, of course. Now I'm thinking about either meeting Tyler or Colt Stevens. I wanted to meet Colt at the Prudential Center, but unfortunately, with how the Prudential Center was, getting in for the pit party was super crazy. But I think it was also because of the arena show format. Like the pit party there is a lot shorter, but I was able to meet Zach Garner and Jamie Garner there, so that was a win. But I think I want to make up for that and try to meet Colt Stevens at MetLife, though. I think he's cool.
Oh yeah, Colt's a great dude. I got to see him at Hampton this year, and then I think I'll get to catch him at Hampton again. I think he'll be coming back in October. But yeah, he's a super cool dude. I love the way he drives the truck, man. He loves to make that dyno soar just like he always says.
Yeah, and he also likes to make a lot of noise, and that's something really, really accepted in motorsports. You got to make some noise.
No, he does. He loves to get loud on
Yeah,
that microphone.
yeah, on the mic and in the truck too. Like he revs that truck like at the Prudential Center. That sounded cool in person.
Oh yeah, I love when they rev up those trucks. I remember I think Landover 2022, Adam kept having technical difficulties in his truck, and the truck kept shutting off, and he got so mad, man. He just stomped and revved that thing. I'd never heard anyone get that mad, just with having that issue.
Yep. And now let's kind of wrap up the East Rutherford side of the podcast. Um, what is your thoughts going into the future of East Rutherford, and do you think at some point they're gonna get a World Finals?
I think just with the future of this event, I really think so. I think it's look at a bright future. You know, Monster Jam's been going this place for 10 years, and I think attendance has been real good. You know, we have a good grand marshal for the last 2 years. It was Jason Biggs, you know, who was in American Pie, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, overall, I really do think we'll get a World Finals, and I think there's plenty of space to do it. I think there's plenty of space for a great track, a great pit party, and I would really like to see it happen in the future. If World Finals gets brought back to the East Coast for 2026, that's I hope that's the first place brought up.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Again, they were gonna do it in 2019, but yeah, again that kind of folded. But yeah, once again, just that was pretty much what the podcast was, just kind of reflecting on MetLife and izod. But yeah, thanks for being on the podcast, George.
Yeah, absolutely, Thomas. I really appreciate it, man, and I love doing it. If you ever need another guest again, I'd be glad to join you, man.
Yeah, no problem, bud. So again, we're gonna have some more episodes coming soon on the TF Motorsports podcast. Also, in the description down below, we have the Discord server if you guys want to join. Take care, guys, and we'll see you next time here on TF Motorsports. Have a good one.